I don't know how to play that. Hey, welcome into the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast. It's Friday. Woohoo! I'm Ron. That dude over there is John Yaglinski.
Wait, let me switch this. There we go.
Every time. If you're watching this, that's what happens because John has us in one configuration on the screen and then he just flips us right in the middle while I'm talking.
Sure.
But, if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. Share with your friends and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate that. Hit that follow button, mash that. And if you're on Facebook, thank you so much for being here and hanging with us. We're listening to our little bit of audio entertainment.
Our little corner of the interwebs.
Working on my accent.
Is that what that was? Really?
No, I used to work on accents when I read stories to the girls.
Oh, that'd be a good way to do it.
No, they were not fans. I was not a fan. I think the older one, she was okay with it. The younger one, after a while, just was like, "Daddy, read," and she put her little hands on either side of my face. Read normally. Read normally. Yeah. Normally. First of all, I was very excited that she used an adverb. And second of all, I'm like, when your kid requests you to do that,
yes,
you sort of have to, right? All right, so it's Friday. You know what that means? I was so excited that we could do a Friday podcast again. Oh, my dog has fleas. My dog has fleas. There are fleas on my dog. All right, we're in C.
Are we?
Do you remember how to tune the bass player? John's a bass player, by the way. When's the last time you picked up your bass, John?
AEDG. I think.
No.
Is it AEDG?
EA.
EADG.
E. All right, but we're in C. Friday song. Sing along. Friday, 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 Friday. Hey, and then you throw your hands up in the air unless you're driving then. Just the one hand. And I always watch myself on these when I'm singing and playing the guitar, all the weird guitar faces that I make.
Well, that's obligatory, isn't it? If you're a guitar player?
Yeah, I think so. Wow. Good use of the word obligatory. Very nice. Welcome in. So we had some things going on this week. John had some commitments and things we had to do. Thanks for following us.
Yeah,
we're malleable like that. We move it around. And John,
another good word.
Nicely. Thank you.
Wow.
English major.
Yeah.
John very nicely and amicably moved or made himself. I'm doing it on purpose now.
I know.
He made himself available for Friday mornings, which I really, really appreciate.
Yes.
I was very happy to be able to do this. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for everything. By the way, remember, and please don't let Jason be the only one hanging out there. If you'd like to leave a message for us, we have a phone line. John jumped through a couple of hoops to keep our phone line open.
Yes.
240-415-9090. We would love to talk to you. 240-415
Niners Ed. Right.
All right.
Hey, we got a comment. I got to get to this.
Okay.
It's Friday and we're celebrating, and Jennifer Skanov wants to celebrate today. Third cancer-free anniversary.
Rock and roll. Rock and roll, girlfriend.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Fantastic.
That is fantastic.
That is.
John's also cancer-free.
For like 10 years.
Huh?
10 years now?
10 years. Yeah. But still, that was an interesting time.
Oh, let's not go back there again.
I'm not going back there. I'm just saying.
If anybody wants to go back there, they can listen to the Intercot Insider podcast.
You came through with flying colors on the other side.
A back episode. Yes, I did. Flying.
By the way, fair warning. I just want you to know, Jennifer, by the way, congratulations. Here's to you with my Spider-Man cup. Amazing dad. See, there you go. And here's a little water toast. Here we go. And clink.
Clink.
Congratulations. So
yes.
I have to tell you, excuse me, that I have a cough, and I'm going to do my best to get over to the cough button. Look at all these well wishes coming in
Yes.
for Jennifer. Good for you, Jennifer, and
Yes.
thank you guys. Thanks. We're a small but mighty community here on the Ron
Right.
Ross Radio
Right.
Show
That's right.
podcast.
That's
I
right.
really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
And thanks for hanging out with us. And tell your friends, by the way, you're like, yeah, remember that guy we used to listen to back in the day on that thing? And he was there for 15 years. This is what he's doing now.
Right.
And aside from my wonderful job that I get to do at Key 103, which is afternoons, it still hasn't sunk in. I was talking to the promotions department this week, and I said, June 1 is my anniversary, 1 year anniversary.
Really?
Yeah, June 1.
Isn't that long?
June 1 was my first. That was
crap.
my first day on the air at King 103. It was a Friday,
Wow.
and so let's do something. Let's celebrate. So they're putting something together. I think we'll be at a bar, for a Friday celebration, bar or restaurant, something like that, and we'll put out together a live what they call a remote broadcast, which I love to do. I never got a chance to do that. You've got your trades with the different animals with working at Sirius XM with the satellite radio, where all the stars, all the musicians, they came to you and just came to your studio. The ones in Washington, D.C. were at Showplace, and it was fantastic. But you had an audience that would come in every now and then. We just passed what was my anniversary of playing there, or of being there on the air, and we had an event with Johnny. Oh gosh, why can't I remember his last name? It's Resnick of Goo Goo Dolls. Anyway,
Goo Goo Dolls.
I am digressing hard.
Rick Dees.
Anyway, it's so fun now to be back in local radio, talking about local things, talking about my hometown. This is where I grew up, and I'm still growing. Hey, Napua made it. She just dropped a comment. I made it. Hi, all.
Everybody wants to hang out on the Friday.
Right.
Friday.
Friday. That's what my brother calls it. Friday.
Yeah.
I just remember the Grease Man. Grease Man had a Friday song.
Oh boy.
What? You don't remember that? The Grease Man with Friday la 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 la. The weekend's here and we'll have a can of beer. We'll relax. It's Friday. It's Friday. We'll take off our slacks. It's Friday. It's Friday. And sit around the house in our rotten underwear.
I don't remember that, but
oh yeah,
you did a lovely rendition.
It's Friday. It was Friday. It's Golly Geo My Day.
That I remember.
Yeah. Huh? Oh, you remember that? Okay.
That part I remember. Yeah.
So
yes.
I have a cough. I'm going to try to hit the cough button. And I want to get to the first things first, though. And last week, and this has been in the works for a little while, daughter of the younger's boyfriend's parents were on vacation in the Outer Banks. They live in New Jersey, but they were on vacation in the Outer Banks. And they were coming home last weekend, so they were swinging by. And they said to son and son's girlfriend, why don't we swing by and meet the parents? So we got to meet the boyfriend's parents, and I could not have had a more pleasant time. They were great folks. They're just great folks. Well, we like the boyfriend, and he likes us. And so, I mean, it's only natural. I mean, this is where it came from. You could see why the personality was what it was. We had 2 meals. We were in downtown Frederick, but I have to tell this, that was wonderful. We did lunch one place, and then they're going to go back to their hotel and check in. They hadn't checked in yet. They just met us downtown in Frederick, and I took them for a little walk. I talked to my brother, Greg, who's the history teacher.
Correct.
And because he knows everything. And I called him earlier. I'm like, I need to know history about Frederick. Go. So he was telling me about this. He goes, you want to see the Battle of the Monocacy, the battle that saved Washington, D.C. And he's explaining all this stuff to me.
Absolutely.
And I was like, what? What happened? Civil War.
Wait.
And then I looked stuff up.
Please, you
And
didn't know about the Battle of the Monocacy? Oh, my kids did like a
never did.
huge report on that. My one son
Never
actually
did.
won an award
Well,
for the state of
really?
Maryland for doing a thing on the Battle of the Monocacy. Yeah,
Well, briefly,
diorama, everything.
very, very briefly, and I
Yeah.
didn't know anything about this. My
Wow.
brother though is just like it's just tripping off the top of his head. I mean, this is what he
What he
does.
does. Yeah.
And well, he teaches world history, but I mean, the Civil War is his
Oh, yeah.
concentration. That's what it
Loves
is.
it.
I'm Revolutionary War. He's
Yeah.
Civil War. And he explained to me that, you know, Lee was trapped in Petersburg with Grant. And so Lee dispatched Jubal Early, who came around, which is a name around here that everybody knows.
Yeah, because of the ferry.
The ransoming of Middletown. And then he ransomed Frederick. And he's trying to come back down. And there was this ragtag group came out of Baltimore.
Right.
And they met at the Monocacy. They lost the battle, but they slowed them up enough that Grant could get reinforcements. Anyway,
exactly.
why I'm telling you the story of the Battle of the Monocacy, but I'm explaining all of it. He explained it to me once. It's one of those things where if you're interested, you remember it. I remember it now. It's a week later, and I heard it for the first time from my brother. It was one of those things. It was weird. So we're walking downtown, and there's a plaque on the ground, and I'd heard of this. He said Lincoln had been in 2 places in Frederick, and there's a plaque right there on the embedded in the sidewalk where Lincoln was on the back of a train, and they were like speech. Earlier, he had given a speech up on the front stoop of a general friend who was, and I mean a friend who was a general, not a general friend.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's not just an acquaintance.
A random friend.
An actual
general. Anyway,
in the military. Got it.
When he was giving a speech about how he wasn't going to give a speech, basically, they were like, speech. He's like, no, I don't, I'm going to get back to Washington, D.C., all the good people of Frederick, good people of Maryland, and so on. First time I've ever seen that and walked. Anyway, we walk over to the park. There's a big park in Frederick called Baker Park. There's a big Caroline. There's a bell tower, big open green space. Tennis courts, bocce ball courts, all that stuff. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And it was a nice day, finally, because it didn't rain like nobody's business. And we had some sunshine, and it was breezy. And I knew it was going to be breezy because I'd done the weather the day before on the race. Yeah. So we put them in their car where they had parked, and they leave. And so now it's daughter the younger and her boyfriend, daughter the elder, her husband, and GS1, who's 5, and the greatest wife ever. Right. And we're all in Baker Park.
GS1, grandson 1. Not everybody might know that. Go ahead.
First grandson.
First grandson. GS1.
Sorry, a little, code.
That.
A little code.
Yeah. Okay.
And
great. Love it.
So daughter the younger says, I think I have a kite in the trunk of my car. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? She goes into the trunk of her car, and she has a kite that was still in the package, never been opened up, which she had gotten for Easter in her Easter basket. Thank you, greatest wife ever, Easter bunny, right?
Right.
So we pull this kite, and it's typical diamond-shaped kite. It's got a nice big streamer tail on it, strings. Wow. I mean, and they dumb it down for you too. I mean, it's a plastic apparatus that you just loop on. Everything's already strung up for you. You just have to put the supports in the back, right?
Insert A into slot B.
Next thing you know, it's up in the air. It's up in the air, and a lot of people are sitting on the grass. It was a gorgeous day. It wasn't wet, thankfully. We're flying a kite, and then Dr. Younger says, I think I have another kite in the back. Like,
what do you mean?
What are you talking about? So I went with her, and sure enough, opens up the trunk of her car, junk, but it all came in handy apparently. And there you go. Easter basket, probably 3 years ago. The greatest wife ever just posted the comment. And so we pull out this other kite, and we put that together and try to fly that kite. That one, it was really weird. We were in a weird area where a gust would come, it would go up, and it would stay, and then you had to get it up high enough in order to get the higher winds.
Yes.
The lower winds, we were in a little bit of a dip, so they were coming over us. Okay. So you had to get it at least like 20 feet in the air. so it
Right.
could catch the higher winds. But anyway, and
Yeah.
there was another guy who had what we refer to as the farting kite, because he had the two handles. Yeah, but it's just going
Yeah. Right.
as it's looping around the whole time, and she has one thought that was very funny. We all thought it was very, very funny. And
Right.
he's showing off, and we got our little, Easter kites. We're like, okay, all right, dude. Yeah, good for
Yeah.
you.
We got
But
the
still,
Ben Franklin kites going here.
but I just remember standing there, and I'm gonna get a little mushy. I just remember
Aw.
standing there, and by the way, I didn't take one picture or one video because I lived
So you
my
were in the
life.
moment.
I lived my life and watched it. So it's now
Yeah.
here. And
Yay.
that's it.
Good.
So when this goes, those memories will
Then
go.
that's
But
gone.
whatever. For right
Right.
now, I have it. I
Right.
just remember standing there specifically and planting both feet on the ground, putting my arms at my sides. I closed my eyes and just said, remember this. This is the best life has to offer. And it was unbelievable. It was just unbelievable. Just flying kites, just out in the park. Both girls are home. Grandson's running around. And it was just the most absolute wonderful. I can't even describe it. And then we went out to dinner that night, and that was fantastic. And they had great stories. And I learned.
Okay.
I learned not to wait to tell my story, but to listen. And I employed a little bit of some of my interview tactics, because I'm just like throwing questions out there. So and all of so how did you guys meet, and what's the story behind the boyfriend's name? Why was he named that? Because everybody's got a great story about that, and
Right.
it was just great to get
Good.
some stories, get a little background, and
Yeah.
I also stayed present because I was just drinking club soda by that time.
Okay. All right.
I was chilling. I had to operate a motor vehicle later that night, but we were having a great. We were, where we were, John. We were at Isabella's, so we had all of the
I like
tapas.
it with the tapas. Yeah. You know what? It's funny because it's tough for guys like you and me, right? We've worked in the radio industry. We've had to keep the stream of conversation going.
Yeah.
We've interviewed people. Sometimes it's tough to just sit back and listen, like, because we talk a lot, right? I mean, we just do. My wife complains about that all the time when we're out at the grocery store and Home Depot or whatever.
As the greatest wife ever has observed,
yeah,
I narrate everything.
Right.
And I've noticed that.
Right.
I know when she said that, I finally noticed it.
Yeah.
When I was here doing my show on Key 103. I was in the home studio, and I'm doing my show. And then when I'm done, I was closing all the windows, and I'm like, all right, we're done with that. And we're done with that. And of course, I'm singing a song that I just heard. Anti-hero. I'm singing absentmindedly, whatever. And then closing. I mean, it's not ever quiet.
That's funny.
I noticed. I'm not just
this.
It doesn't sit in here just going click, click. No, not at all. Well, all right, I'm done with that. All right, let's close that and let's move that over here. I mean, I'm talking about everything that I'm doing.
To no one in general.
To absolutely nobody.
You're just describing your life and what's going on.
Yeah, that's narrating my life. That's what I do. Just thought it was funny.
That's funny.
Okay, so we have this event that's coming up tomorrow, and I've been very kindly asked to MC it. And hang on, we got a comment. What did Bud say? Never found out what I was supposed to be named. My dad got flustered at having his first son and gave his name instead. No, my given name is not Bud. LOL.
Well, if you knew what Bud's real name is.
Are we getting into the but we will get into the name conversation. I want to get into the name conversation.
Yeah.
There's the reason why I'm named the way I am. Because I'm named after my dad, but I'm the second son.
Right.
But anyway, where was I? Oh, okay. So there's this big event that's going on tomorrow. And you may have heard me mention this a bunch of times, only because it was pivotal in the moment that I had on Sunday with my
Okay.
family. And that is because back in 1985, I was working in radio. I was working in Hagerstown.
Mhm.
And also, I was hired to
You
be
said
a
85?
85.
Okay. All right.
85.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I started there in 84.
Okay.
We remembered that this was my 40th anniversary
Right.
this year.
Okay.
When I thought it was last year, but it's not. Because we looked at my FCC license, remember? And it
Right.
said,
We did this. Yeah, I remember now.
we did this bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was hired to work at this nightclub in Frederick called the Rabbit's Foot. Now, the Rabbit's Foot, before I was of age to
Right.
work there, it was a legendary place. I
Yes.
was dying to go into this place because it was a rock club. It was a rock nightclub. And at that time in the 80s, and I don't know what it was, something in the water around here. I don't know what it was, but the bands were tremendous. Now, just a tiny little bit of history. There was a band called Kicks, but before they were called Kicks, they were called The Shoes, Shooze. There was another band called The Shoes, so they had to change that. And they were signed to Atlantic Records, and they put out a debut album, I want to say 82. And that may have been in high school still when it came out, but it was the beginnings of like the hair metal kind of stuff, but it was very upbeat and pop. It was like pop metal almost, I want to say. So Kicks, they were local heroes. Now you hear them and they say, they're from Baltimore. No, they're from Frederick, West Virginia,
Right.
Hagerstown, this area. But you had to get the next biggest city. Anyway, so the Rabbit's Foot was and the Rabbit's Foot, Mountain View. There was the 8x10. There was a club called Gatsby's in Martinsburg, West Virginia. The Bayou in Washington, D.C. There were a couple in D.C. What was the one in Northern Virginia? I can't remember now. And then, of course, there's Hammerjacks in Baltimore.
Right.
It was a legendary venue. And that these bands just went around this whole area and, up and down the East Coast, playing New Jersey. They go down to like as far as Georgia and play. And that's what my brother-in-law did for a living when he graduated high school. He was a drummer in a band and would play 6 nights a week. But the Rabbit's Foot had live music on rock bands on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And sometimes there would be a Sunday matinee, I think. On Wednesdays, they had male dancers. So that was and all the women would go on Wednesdays, but all the rockers, we went out on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And local bands, these were local bands that actually would play 2-night stands. You don't have any of that anymore.
Yeah, one night and you're gone.
2-night stands of playing. And in fact, Greatest Wife Ever and I were just talking about one of the bands. There was Kicks never played the Rabbit's Foot, but you had Monarch. I thought Monarch was never gonna. What a great band, Monarch. And then there was Wrathchild. Wrathchild was signed. They went to Atlantic Records, and then they had to change their name because there was already a band called Wrathchild, so they were Wrathchild America. Put out 2-3 albums. They were right at the start of the thrash metal, so Metallica was hitting pretty big at that time, and Motorhead with Ace of Spades and stuff like that, and
Right.
playing the Rabbit's Foot, and you had women dancing to the stuff right in front of the stage. It was a party all the time. Now, how does this relate to Sunday? Well, I was hired as a disc jockey at this place, and I come in. I've got my little satchel of records, and I walk in, and they were running videos. They had 2 Betamax machines.
Beta.
Beta.
Oh gosh.
Betamax, which I found out later was the industry standard for television, not VHS. But
it was higher quality, actually.
It was higher quality.
That was why.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk in, and they show me to this long blonde hair woman who is in the booth, and she's explaining to me, all right, you turn this on, here's the amplifier, this and that, and you go from here to here, and that's how you run it. And she showed me how to run the whole thing. She is now the greatest wife ever. And
Wait, what?
That's where I met her. That's where I met her. She was a server, but when the previous DJ had quit, he had and they were really good friends. He had showed her what to do in the booth. He didn't just leave him high and dry. He just left.
Yeah.
And his name was Jeff, I think. And so she knew what to do. So she showed me what to do in the DJ booth. And where all the equipment was, and I'm like, okay, great, cool, thanks. And there were 2 turntables, so I just, there's the board.
Was there a microphone?
There was a microphone, and then I would go up during band breaks and give away stuff. We had like drinking competitions because I was in a fraternity, and I'm like, yeah, beer chugging, woohoo! And we were giving away, big giant beer mirrors, Budweiser, a big mirror. Here you go, hang that in your rumpus room or whatever, and I had a ringside seat for these fantastic bands. And I was where the DJ booth was. I was eye level with the drummers on a stage and then on a drum riser. So I remember watching the band, and I'm a drummer as well. So I'm watching them, and I would just stay in the booth. Sometimes I come out, but whatever. And I'm watching the drummer for Wrathchild. His name is Shannon Larkin. It probably still is Shannon Larkin. And he was 16, I think. So he had to get a special permit to work in a bar. He was like this thin. He was just
kind of like you at the time.
Super kind of like me at the time. Exactly. Yeah.
There we go.
So one half of the hair was, his mom was a hairdresser. So one half of the hair was bleached white. The other half was jet black. It was awesome. Fantastic. And he was lightning fast, but I noticed his technique. I'm watching him because he let the microphone do all the work, the big cannon sounds you're getting from the drums, but he just had, his sticks weren't coming any higher than this off the head. So it was all technique, a lot of show, fantastic drummer, unbelievable drummer. And now he's the drummer in Godsmack. I got a ringside seat of watching that before they were stars and stuff like that. It was amazing. So there's a reunion tomorrow.
Oh, no. What?
Yes, a big reunion. Now the building is now a Mexican restaurant, mariachis, which, by the way, we've gone in there, Greatest Wife Ever, and we sat there and we were just sitting there with our drinks, just looking around going, okay, yeah, that's where the DJ booth is. And then this was the stage, and that's where Joan Jett played. Joan Jett played the Rabbit's Foot.
Yeah. For
an anniversary show for 107X, which was the rock station in Hagerstown. Anyway,
Marks the Rock.
And she was local at the time. I think she was living in Rockville. That's why she likes the Orioles. I don't know if she's originally from Maryland. I haven't never looked that up, but there she was. There's Joan Jett, and you couldn't see the stage because it was so packed that I just stood and hung in the back with the bar. At the bar with the bartenders, I'm just like, did you know Joan Jett was playing here? Because
wow,
you wouldn't know, and you couldn't hear anything because they're all blocking the loudspeakers. Anyway, the big reunion is tomorrow, and I'm very excited about it. We've got 4 bands. I'm hosting, and a lot of these bands, they made sure, because I was talking to the owner yesterday, that the George, and whenever I see George, I'm like, I thank him for my life. I wouldn't have been married. I wouldn't have two daughters and a grandson, were it not for him hiring me. I mean, it's just plain and simple. So Sunday would have never happened had I not been hired at this place.
There you go.
You could believe in the fate or or whatever it is, that I was going to meet the Greatest Wife Ever anyway, because I've told that story. She used to walk in my neighborhood when I was 14. And she was 14. She would walk. Her best friend lived in my neighborhood. They would walk in front of my house. I remember that specifically. She remembers there was a new kid in the neighborhood who didn't go to Linganore High School, and
so
if you didn't. I went to anyway.
Is the reunion being held at the Mexican restaurant, or is it?
No. So it was going to be held at the Moose Lodge,
Okay.
which great room, and then it just blew up. So
Okay.
many people want to go there. So it's been moved to a new place called Vanish Hall, which is a big kind of amphitheater. It's a theater in the round. It used to be an old auction house for livestock. So you've got
Oh.
raised seating. Right. They turned it into a nightclub, a couple
cool.
of iterations of a nightclub. But now a really good friend of mine is the ops manager there, and they've done some huge upgrades and a lot of great sound. But it's in Boonesboro, Maryland.
Oh, Boonesboro.
In Boonesboro. And it's good. It's in the backside of a steakhouse, a new steakhouse that's in Boonesboro.
Okay.
Yeah. It's great. It's gonna be a great venue. But anyway,
It's T-bone, and then you get some live music.
one of the bands I have to mention is because Motor Smoke is playing, and they're a great cover band. But
Motor Smoke.
Jimmy Rickard, the guitar player in the band, and this is his band. He started it. He was back in the day at the Rabbit's Foot, and I remember him from two bands. There was the Brats, and then he changed and morphed that into another band called Sick Ricky, and playing back in the day. And now he's going to be playing tomorrow night, and it's just going to be.
Oh, wow.
I know. I'm very, very, very excited. I just wanted to bring that up because
Wow.
that was just one of those things. And I don't want to say kids today, but kids today. You don't have any place to go for stuff like that. For great live music, and for these bands that were, and every one of them was on the cusp of getting signed. Every one of them. Child's Play was another band that got signed. They went to Chrysalis Records. Every band was good enough to get signed. There were so many. I'd have to say, and I'll post it up on the Facebook page. There was a news magazine on CBS called West 57. It was kind of a younger version of 60 Minutes. And they came out and did a whole big piece.
Mm-hmm.
Bud just says Boonesboro has a great annual beer fest. I've been to that beer festival. Actually, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's where Greatest Wife Ever developed a flavor for a taste for, like, there's a peanut butter beer and a port, and she likes all the stuff. She's like, tasting, that's not bad. So anyway, West 57th came out and did a piece on this band Wrathchild and all these bands that were going to get signed. So I'll post that link up, and you'll see there are parts of the Rabbit's Foot in there from back in the day. And what's funny now is Brad Divins, who was the lead singer and bass player in Wrathchild, he was in Kicks for one album, and then he started Wrathchild. But he's now front of the house sound engineer. So you have that giant soundboard out in the middle of the seating in the concert. You're like, why is this piece of equipment here? Because that's the guy running the sound, or the man or the woman or whatever. And that's what he does for like bands like Garbage and Enrique Iglesias. And he flies all over the world. Enrique's got 100,000 people.
Of course he does.
100,000 people in stadiums, and they're just doing the sound. That's what he does.
All right,
and he just became a tech wizard about all that stuff. It's just amazing to see. So I'll post that whole link up, and as you can see, you're
a little excited.
I'm at that. Well, here's the Rabbit's Foot.
Yeah, I saw.
There's the reunion. This is the reunion shirt.
Yeah. That's wow. Look at that. You're geared up too. That's amazing.
I'm geared up. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I've written my my opening remarks. It'll be a little bit of a stand up. I think we'll do.
Crack some jokes.
I'll try to crack some. I wrote some jokes. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see. Could be crickets. Oof. I think everybody's just going to be going, hey, when they walk in. Hey, and I'm like, hello, is this thing on? Hello.
Yeah.
Sibilance. So anyway.
Sibilance.
That's where I met the greatest wife ever. So, and John, we know how you met your wife, but why don't you tell us how you met your wife?
How I met my wife?
Yeah,
but I thought we told this story already, but I'm glad to.
I don't know you did. Did you?
We did. Yeah.
Right.
Ron introduced me to my wife on a blind date, Heart concert.
Not specifically in person, though.
No.
Not in person. I never
No.
said, "Hey, John, here's Stacy. Stacy, here's John." But I was friends with Stacy through high school and
Right.
college.
Right.
Yeah, because she went to
Exactly.
Maryland, I went to Maryland. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Stacy had tickets to a concert. Ron said, I know a guy. I was doing overnights at WARX, Magic 106.9. Actually, it might have even just been WARX at that time. Because we
What,
hadn't, because
Easy
we
hits?
changed to Magic.
Easy hits. We were still easy.
I
hits.
forget what it was. Yeah, it was like
Easy Hit.
AC. It was kind
106.9.
of, yeah, but yeah, we got an identity after I came on board there.
Right.
But yeah, because I was like, where's the liner cards? I remember that. I remember coming there. I'm like, don't we have
Liner
stuff
cards.
we're supposed to say?
Liner cards. What are
Yeah.
those?
Like,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
didn't have those.
always 4 great songs in a row and no talk.
No talk.
Magic 106.9 FM.
By the way, we stopped the music and told you and spoke about
Yeah.
how we
Yeah, we're
not talking.
Yeah, we're not talking, but we're gonna play a jingle, or we're gonna,
Well, it was a jingle. No, you're right. No, what you're right.
4 songs.
4 songs in a row,
4
and there was a
songs
jingle
in a row. Magic
Magic
106.9.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow.
So where did you guys meet physically? She had the tickets. By the way, did you pay her for the ticket?
No. It was a date. She asked me on the date.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't think about that. Okay.
Probably at the concert and stuff, I probably picked up the beverages and things like that. But no, I mean,
let's hope so, John.
I remember it that way, Ron. I don't know if that's true, but no, I had a crab feast north of Baltimore that day with my family.
Oh,
I went to, which was great. Met up with them. We were joking about the blind date and the running joke.
I know.
Remember? I hope she has. Hope she has.
I didn't show you any pictures or nothing.
Yeah, no, pictures.
I didn't show you any pictures. I didn't show you any pictures on my phone.
Yeah, we didn't have phones back then, dude.
This was back in the 80s.
It was back in the 80s. There were no phones. No, but I remember the joke was, well, maybe she'll at least have nice shoes. And that was meaning like, even if it was a bad date, you're still getting to see a concert.
Sure, right. And it was hard.
And it was heart to heart. It was, I met her at her place. We got in her car.
You met her at her place. And you made her drive?
She had a great car. She said she would drive.
It was the Mitsubishi Eclipse.
The Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Yeah, I was always jealous of that stinking
which
car.
was great. And I had
I was in a radio. I couldn't afford that.
I had my Dodge Colt, I think, at the time, which was fine. I could have driven, but she said, no, I'll drive. And I was like, okay.
Wow, nice.
And your friend and my friend, Kathy Crawford, it was a double date. She went with some.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I just learned that just now.
Right now? Yeah. And she was dating somebody at the time, and the person showed up late.
Oh, no.
And Kathy she came storming in, and she's like, this is the last time. That's it. We are done.
Wow.
And so it was so awkward. You're
sitting there like,
they're in the back seat,
right.
not a word. Meanwhile, we're up front talking, chatting.
Hey, so how do you know Ron? Yeah, he's along. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, all right, here, right there. See? Yep, I was there.
Any of that.
She says, oh, I remember that.
That's hilarious. I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah.
You never, ever told me that, dude. I never knew that.
It was great. And then the concert, I mean, it was hard. So,
was that
great
at Merriweather? Yeah, it was Merriweather.
I guess, yeah.
It had to have been Merriweather. It was outside, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, there was no Jiffy Lube Live or any of that stuff at the time.
Yeah, no.
They hadn't built that in DC.
No, it was Merriweather. I guess. I don't know.
It was Merriweather, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Merriweather Post Pavilion. It's one of those outdoor theaters. It's in Columbia, Maryland, so it's kind of equidistant. Is it a Baltimore show? Is it a Washington show? Yes. It's both of those things.
So anyway, that was it. Then we then after that, it was like, is she going to call me or not? You know, or am I going to
You
call her?
waited for her to call you?
No, I mean, it was one of those, you know, I remember calling her.
I don't know why I'm getting upset because it all worked out, but still.
No, I remember calling her at work and thinking she was completely uninterested, but yet she agreed to go on another date. And I later found out she worked a very stressful job at a law firm as a senior paralegal. And she literally just didn't have time to talk. And she was very short on the phone. And there was a reason for it, but she was great on dates. And I was like, this is fantastic. So, and they never had a fight. And here we are. That was 1990 when we went on our first date, got married in 91, and we're still married. So there you
go. Nice. And 2 sons later.
2 sons.
And
yep.
2 grown sons.
Full grown, living on their own, moved out of the house. Son.
All right. I love to see your meet cute story. And if you want to throw that into a comment section. Oh, speaking of which, is that on here? Do we want to do the Q&A? Let's do the Q&A first. Let's do the no. I'm sorry. I'll take that back. If you go back to it was on our Facebook and our Instagram and also on my Twitter.
Okay.
I'm sorry, on my X. Whatever. It's still Twitter. Sorry there, Elon. Bad move to change the name. We brought back What TH Is It? So it was a picture that I took. Actually, I took it in my office and I zoomed in super tight and then posted it up on all of our socials. And all you had to do was give the answer. What TH is it? And the answer was, I don't know who the first one was with the correct answer.
I thought it looked like a Roomba or something like that.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was trying to figure out what the wheels and the underside and what the wheel was for. What was it? That was my robot vacuum.
Computer mouse.
Oh yeah, because the wheel. I got
Not this computer mouse, but it's a computer mouse.
It was a computer mouse.
Yeah, computer mouse.
Huh.
So it was the little track wheel that's on the top. And I zoomed in, and Grace wife ever wasn't exactly sure what it was. So, and she was my barometer, so that's why I posted it. But some people were right on it immediately. But that was a lot of fun. I love doing that. So we're gonna bring that back. That's gonna for Pride, not Prize. I got to take a look who was the first one on all of the different socials, and then we'll give them their pride, their hashtag Pride, not Prize. So I will go back. But right now, as we have been rolling through, it's time to get the gray matter working. Fire off the synapses, engage the frontal lobe, form new neural networks, utilize the cerebrum. As Pooh says, it's time to think. Dang, it's the dun. Question of the day, or the QOD for short, playing for Pride, not Prize. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, here we go.
All right.
The average price of this has increased from $90 in 2018 to $120 in 2023. What is it? The average price of this has increased from $90 in 2018 to $120 in 2023.
I have an idea.
What is it? Do you want a super duper give it away clue?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but I don't know.
All right. Put your answers in the comment section. And
never gets old.
No, it never gets old. Well, it never gets old for us.
What if we could have Don Geronimo on the show at some point?
Don Geronimo.
Have the part of Lord Quizmaster played by the actual Lord Quizmaster.
I know, right? I grew up listening to them. Don. Actually, I remember when Don Geronimo was on PGC.
Right. Yep. Before
PGC, he was night jock.
Yeah.
And then they put him on in mornings. There was a morning zoo. They already had a morning zoo on WAVA, which was a top 40, screaming top 40. And they were directly competing with PGC. So WAVA had changed from the Rock and Roll Animal and they were an album rock station, changed to top 40. Shirley and Harrigan was the morning zoo. and it just wasn't.
Everybody's like, what? Okay.
It wasn't tracking. So then they put Don Geronimo and Mike O'Mara, and then later on, it
Not a
was
mic.
not a Mike.
They were big. Yeah. So we got some answers.
So much radio stuff.
I know.
Oh, here's the question of the day. One more time. Sorry. The
Oh,
average price of this has increased from $90 to 2018 to $120 in 2023.
Mhm.
What is it? First answer. Let's pop that up on the old
Ready?
screen here. From Napua. She says cell phone question mark. That is incorrect.
I like the answer though.
I liked it too. It's a good try.
We got another good one from James. Here we go.
Beer keg. He wants to.
That's pretty good. I like that one.
90 is it only $120? I'm sure a beer keg's more expensive than
I don't know if it is.
No, I guess you get a quarter keg.
By the way, the next one was my guess.
Yeah,
actually, Jason Perry and I are on the same page.
Barrel of oil. Oh, well, I don't know what a barrel of oil costs. So
about $120 a barrel.
That's not it, though. That is not it.
And it probably was about 90 in 2018.
Yeah,
I may have to look at that. Jason, we may have to give you a bonus on that one, even if it turns out to be correct. Then, and there were 2 correct answers. It's just not Ron's correct answer. That is it. Nobody else
followed Jason's. I'm so bummed I'm not going to see him tomorrow night, but everybody follow Jason's professional page and say hi to him and pay attention. His band, Crash the Limos, and he's a great artist who goes out and he plays acoustic shows, and he's got a duo show. He's got 2 different duos.
Yeah.
One with a guy, one that he's been playing with Barb forever and ever, and they do great. I love those. You go to a brewery and just kind of hang back and get a brew and listen to those guys play. Anyway,
I think we need some hints or something, because that's it. Like
you want a hint? You want a hint?
Yeah, we need something.
Well, okay, I'll give you 2 hints.
Okay,
it's already been mentioned in one of our earlier discussions. The answer was already mentioned in one of our earlier discussions.
It's not one.
Number 1, number 2.
Okay.
Greatest wife ever.
Oh, I know.
And bought these on the secondary market, so we could go and see.
I know
a band we wanted to see.
Right
there you go.
By the way, Napua said Napua is doing the research. She's consulting the book of knowledge.
Oh, barrel of oil is $64 and 30 cents. Okay, very nice.
That was
in 2019.
All right, now Bud
oil. All right,
Bud, also known as Adolf.
Yes.
By the way, that's Bud's real name. Yes. So
concert tickets.
Yes.
Correct. There it is.
Yes, and then Jim chimed in too when she made it a little bit easier.
There you go.
But
the average price was $90 in 2018. That's before the secondary market. Before the secondary market.
Yeah.
And then 120 in 2023. Greatest Wife Ever and I, we saw that the ELO, Electric Light Orchestra, is doing their last tour. Jeff Lynne's ELO doing their last tour. Coming to Washington, D.C., I forget when. So I'm like, I'm going to buy some tickets. What the heck? Why not? And I hopped on there, and it was unbelievable. It was $250 minimum. And that's like nosebleed. Per ticket.
Well, everyone knows it's the last tour. He's not doing anymore.
Yeah, but price gouging, man. I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm kind of over it too, Ron.
And they're doing and so only the well-off and elite can go to these shows. You know, it's not accessible. I mean, remember when Taylor Swift, I don't want to get into Taylor Swift in just a second because I just love the artist Taylor Swift. I don't know her personally. I just love the artist because of what she did today. And I don't know if you know this, but when her tickets went on sale, they crashed the internet. And I think Ticketmaster, because they just couldn't have the volume.
Couldn't handle it. Yeah.
They couldn't handle it. Also, you know, you had to reserve a place in line, and it was bedlam. But it was all because of the secondary market. It's not because we want to. Yeah, it's not. We want to buy these tickets at the price. It's because they wanted to real quick sell those tickets to a ticket broker and then sell them for double, triple, and quadruple the price because they were going to get it. And it's a
problem.
It's hard to do.
It somehow you can't scalp tickets outside the event, but you're perfectly okay scalping them on the internet by a ticket broker. I mean, what is the difference?
Okay, look, I get it. It's a free market system. I get it. Free market enterprise. You can buy something and resell it.
Dude.
Okay, I get that. But I mean, when you don't have the Joe Blow American does not have the opportunity, and I've got connections through radio, trust me. But you know, when we wanted to go see Foo Fighters, okay, I did not use any of my connections.
Right.
Greatest way I've ever went on the secondary market and bought tickets, and I didn't ask, and she didn't tell me. So I don't want to know, because the show was worth it. It was totally worth it. You know, unless it was like in the thousands of dollars, and it wasn't. But still, it was totally worth it. It was a wonderful show. But that's the last big ticket show we've gone to see that
I'm going to give you a tie-in.
I'm going to spend money on.
Yeah, you know? I'll give you a tie-in here. So, and bring up one of my topics at the same time is that this weekend I'm heading down to Orlando to run a 10-miler, Springtime Surprise 10-miler at Disney. Okay, again, great events. But to your point, on the first day of the expo for the race, they have essentially brokers, people who are reselling crap, go into the expo and buy up all the stuff that they think they're going to be able to resell, and then resell it online for like 2, 3, 4, 5 times what it cost. Yeah. And then me, who's going down there on Saturday, is going to be like picking through the racks, trying to find anything or any size or whatever. It's the same sort of thing. I don't know. It kind of irritates me. It
is irritating. It
burns my britches. Right.
It's hard to do. And, you know,
grinds my gear.
How do you combat that? Obviously there are better minds than mine. How you would combat that. I mean, because, and also the people who are work for these ticket brokers, they've got a ways around it. Like, well, it's only limited 10. Well, then they've had these bots that pretend to be people.
Sign up for 20 different email accounts. And how are you going to stop that kind of thing? Now, in-person stuff, you can stop. You literally
they hire people to stand in line.
You can only buy one of each item, and that's it. Right. And you still could resell them, but you couldn't buy 5 or 10 of them. But
so let me throw it out there, though. Then what is the and that's what brought it up was, or the thing I thought was hilarious is that Stacy paid for the ticket. You didn't pay for your ticket.
I don't think I did. I really don't. I may have offered. I don't remember, but I think
owe her, man. You owe her. So
I know I owe her. What Bud said, by the way, Ticketmaster charges almost 30% of the ticket price and fees. Couldn't justify buying tickets.
Yeah, and then there's a parking fee. Why you?
Oh my God!
None of your business where I parked my car.
By the way, I will tell you, I went to a Jim Gaffigan comedy concert in Savannah, which was funny. It's funny, dude. And you could buy the ticket or the parking online. It was the greatest thing ever. I mean, even though I hate paying for parking, we just gave it up, in. It was the most efficient parking system I had ever seen. There was no hold up. People were just getting in. Things were going.
It was weird. We went to go see the Animaniacs concert here in town.
Sweet.
Yes. I didn't tell you about that?
No.
I didn't tell you about that?
The Animaniacs? No, I would remember the Animaniacs.
With the 2 voiceover, Rob Paulson, my hero. I didn't tell you about that?
About this? Yeah.
Yeah, they were playing in Frederick.
I like
they played at the Weinberg Center. It was Rob Paulson.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Rob Rogel, I think it is, who wrote all the songs. And they came in and it was just a live performance, and he sang all the songs. And then Maurice LaMarche was the special guest, and Maurice LaMarche is the voice of Pinky and the Brain. Rob Paulson's the voice of Pinky. Oh, I think so, Brain. And Maurice LaMarche was the voice of brain, and he was doing an Orson Welles. I can't believe I didn't tell you this.
You did not tell me this.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you this later.
Okay.
It's a story for another time. But Rob Paulson's my hero.
Okay.
He does what I would love to do for a living, and then he's
same. I would both of us would love. Anyone wants to hire either one of us? We do lots of
I'm voiceover guy. He's amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And he was Yakko. He was the voice of Yakko Warner, if you know the cartoon. And he sang all the countries in the world, Albania, Algeria, all off the top of his head. He had it all memorized. It was amazing. But the ticket was it was at the will call, and I had a hard ticket. But I was just watching everybody else. There are no tickets anymore. No tickets anymore. No, they don't print them up anymore. It's just a little QR code on your phone.
Yeah, and it's got like a thing in the back of it, so it like makes sure it's legitimate. And you have to download it, and
and it's just like boop and boop boop. Same thing at the movie theater now. No hard tickets. You've got none. I used to collect
probably
my ticket stubs.
It's good, except for
collected all my ticket stubs from the Capitol Center. Capitol Center. I saw so many bands.
You know what I used to do, Ron? I would, because I would do the same thing, but so I'd have the CD of the group, and then I would put inside the CD cover, I would put the ticket. So on the back, I still have them.
CD.
I still have CD. Oh my gosh, I can't get rid of my CDs.
CD.
I got rid of all my albums.
See, I have all my albums.
See, we went different directions. I was like, I haven't listened to these albums in years, and I sold them all before I moved. But I have probably 600 or more CDs.
So that stereo you see over my right shoulder, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, or if you're on our Facebook.
Yeah,
I have. I'm in my home office, and I've got a bunch of gold records and stuff on the wall. But I also have a Sony 1973, I'm going to say, stereo. And this was my parents' stereo. I have it now. And turntable still works. And I listened to everything on that. I used to listen to Pink Floyd The Wall on that, that stereo. But now the turntables is not calibrated. It's a little. Well, I think the belt shrunk, so it's a little fast. So
you can get a new belt.
You get
those.
No, I just like it. It's just a little, slightly higher pitch than I recall. It's a little bit. The meter is a little faster. Just a little. Instead of 120 beats, it's like 120.5. It's a little faster. But anyway. Put your in the comment section if you want the how much you've paid for, maybe the most you would pay for a ticket price to see whom. Like the Kiss Farewell Tour was playing at Baltimore, and it was their last show before they played a 2-night stand in New York's Madison Square Garden. So it was the last show. And I thought about it, 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 and I just couldn't bring myself to. I've seen him before.
Yeah.
But it was like, just couldn't pay that money.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And it was hard to find a ticket, the original price.
Yeah.
It was because they were all gone. And you had to go to StubHub or whatever the other, secondary markets were, and they were all marked up. And depending on where it was just, it's demoralizing. So I wanted to mention this real quick with and how much I love Taylor Swift. So the big fat hairy deal, she announced it on the Grammys that she was going to release a new album, The Tortured Poets Department, and it came out midnight. And then a lot of collaborations, and she's had a collaboration with Post Malone and a couple of artists on it. And it's typical Taylor Swift. Is just amazing work, and she's worked on this thing while she was on her record-breaking world tour, the Eras Tour. She's still working on a new album. She goes to the Grammys, wins out record of the year, album of the year, whatever, and says, oh, by the way, my new album's coming out April 19th. So it came out at midnight. And then 2 hours later, she released 15 more songs.
Yeah, that wasn't planned.
A bonus album. Essentially a whole other album.
Double album.
I love this woman so much. I think that is not because it was a brilliant move. I just think she likes to write and record music, and she thinks of nothing but her fans. And she just does. It's just me. All right, I'm done gushing about her. I just think she's great. Hopefully, I think she stayed kind of the same person. Hopefully, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know her personally. And I've encountered her like once or twice professionally, I think. And but I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Put out an album, and then 2 hours later, and she put out a lot of clues, man, a lot of Easter eggs on websites, and she had pop-up stores here and there, and a lot of clues. And people were like, why are there 2 clocks and stuff like that?
Dude, it was a brilliant move from a marketing standpoint. I mean, let's be honest.
And just being a great artist. I like to write and record and put stuff out.
I mean,
all right, John. All right, cynical.
I'm a little more skeptical of it, but no, I mean, for the fans, it's a great moment. I mean, if you're a huge fan and you find your favorite artist all of a sudden is putting out a double album instead of a single album, that's cool. Right? That is cool.
You get twice as many songs as you thought you were going to get. You thought you were going to get 15 songs, and you wind up getting 30.
Now, for a prog rocker, I look forward to, a double album that has 4 songs on it. So a little joke there.
Well, I remember, gosh, when you found out that when the Beatles' White Album was a double album.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was a big fan. Kiss Alive was a double album. Yeah. Frampton Comes Alive, a double album.
Yeah.
What was it? The Wall was a double album from Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
They were.
Wasn't Rush's Exit Stage Left, the live album? Wasn't that a double album too? I think.
Sure. Let's go with that.
I think it was.
Exit Stage Left. Well, but that wasn't their first one, was it? All the World's a Stage was their first one. The first live album, right?
Was it? Maybe that was the one I'm thinking of. It's one of the two. I remember having a Rush album that was a double album.
Exit Stage Left had all of which I love the covers. If you don't know Rush, and look at the album covers, because they were double and triple meanings to the pictures, like moving pictures. Okay, the album Moving Pictures. You see these guys wearing jumpsuits, and they're moving. They're literally walking paintings up like into a museum.
It was a double album,
but on the
Stage Left.
Exit Stage Left. But on the back, there was it was, if you pulled back, the guys who were moving the pictures had put them down, and you were on a motion picture set. So moving pictures of the moving I just loved all this. There you go. Exit Stage Left. So look, she's from the cover of Permanent Waves.
Right.
The owl is from Fly By Night. He is from. Is that? I don't know. Oh no! We're not. Okay, there you go. So, Moving Pictures is the guy from Moving Pictures.
Hemispheres.
There's Farewell to Kings.
Yeah.
Is the guy on the right sitting on the crate? Okay, and then
Hemispheres. Then the naked guy.
Hemisphere. Yeah, Hemispheres.
Yeah, but it was a double album. So there you go, right there. I remember having it. So,
wow. Anyway. They were on Mercury Records? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyway.
That was Kiss's label after.
It's that time, Ron. We have to.
Oh my gosh, we're over. We're done.
We need to go.
We're done, Dunny Dunnerson. All right, listen. Thank gosh, I cannot thank you enough for indulging and letting us hang out with you. We love to hang out with you. Hey, in the comments section, we'll talk about it next week. I'd love to hear your meet cute story. How'd you guys meet?
Cool.
And what's the most you ever paid for a concert ticket? It's okay. And no judging, because we've done it. I've done it. Absolutely.
Maybe the most and the least would be fun too.
Most and the least. Oh, the least. I remember. Okay. Well, quick story. Kiss. July 7th, 1979. It was the return of Kiss, right? After the solo albums at the Capitol Center. It was $13. And my father was scandalized. He was like, I can't believe so much of a $13.
Yeah.
And so he got a ticket for me, and then he had to get a ticket for my brother. All of a sudden, my brother wanted to go to the concert. Never listened to a Kiss album a day in his life, but now he's got to go to the show. The older one. I'm like, really? This is my thing. You want to horn in on my thing? It's my thing. You're Eagles. I'm Kiss. So anyway,
That's funny.
neither here nor there.
All right.
I digress. $13 in 1979. But anyway, all right. Listen, have yourself a wonderful weekend, and do all the cool things that you want to do, and spend time with your family, and put the phone down. Don't take any pictures. Don't worry about it. Just remember it. And have a wonderful, wonderful time. And we will meet you back here next, John.
It's going to be an evening. It's going to be Ron Ross Radio Podcast After Dark.
After dark. We'll have to do it. We'll do it after dark. We'll do it in the evening.
Love songs.
That'll be great for you, Jennifer, in the West Coast. So you'll be fine. You're like, oh, it's dinner time.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's going to be, but probably Wednesday or Thursday. We need to work that out.
So watch the socials for another what TH is it? I'll hand out all the Pride Not Prize to all of the other the winners who were the first ones who were the correct answer this week, and on all of the socials that we have. Come follow us, tell your friends, leave a message if you want on our phone number, which is 240-415-9090. 240-415-9090. Actually, you want to put your meet cute story on there? That'd be great. That would be great.
That would be fun.
That you can tell the story. So if it's too much to type, just leave it there. We'd love to listen to it and play it back next week when it's the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast at night. All right, listen.
Yeah.
SpongeBob reference. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. That guy right there, John Yaglinski. This guy right here, Ron Ross. Love you, mean it. Bicycle.